so we wanted to explore the difference in you now and then.
Yes.
Okay, so some of the antics that you know did. Do you view them as something that you just wouldn't do today, or are you different now? Do you see yourself as a different person? I mean, of course, we all grow, but is that young boy sort of still?
Person only in the fact that I am older.
Hmm.
I'm probably not capable of the strength I had, but if the occasion happened, I think I would meet it.
You would
meet it.
Okay, but I guess your life isn't like that now, is it? Because it's not what you want anymore.
No, my life is lovely now.
Yeah, yeah. And all of that was your adventures and
yes.
things that you go through as...
Yes. And even on my adventures, I did not look for trouble. But if it came my way, I could deal with it.
With regards to... so what were we saying? You always say this thing that I love, a man of my time.
Yes.
Which can be applied to everybody at that point, really.
Yes,
and
sure.
it does. It really helps put things into perspective. But now, you know, you're 80 and you still got your finger on the pulse, to be honest. You know, you speak to a lot of people of different ages and environments.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah, you do. You speak to a lot of people and you connect with them and you learn from them as well.
Yes, I do.
You know, and you're connecting to the new generations, and sometimes people age and they don't connect. So we were talking about this the other day, that you're sort of a bit of a time traveler, which is a good sort of analogy to how your brain kind of moves forward with the ages.
I am not arrogant enough. I am arrogant. I'm not arrogant enough to think I know everything just because I have lived a long time. And I'm willing to learn from a younger generation or from an older generation, not many left like that. But I'm willing to learn or listen. I do listen. A lot of people don't listen. They hear, they don't listen.
And so with regards to how things were back in the billet and what you know of life now, how things are now, do you see a great difference in that attitude, in that environment? Does that environment still exist, or is it petering out?
The environment I grew up in and lived in for a long time does not resemble at all the way I live now. This would have been a fairy tale.
Right. Is this what you always wanted?
I didn't even look for it. It just happened.
You don't, I think it's really great that you don't have regrets about things.
I don't what?
Have regrets. You don't regret any of your actions, or you just embraced your life as...
I really have to delve to find something I regret. And I can only say I regret because I was a man of my time, that I was sometimes a bit violent with women. And I would give them a slap if I thought they deserved a slap at the time. Who am I to say they deserved a slap? But at the time, that's how it was. I regret that. I didn't want to do it.
That's how it was, yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know how to deal with it any other way. That's all I had known.
Well, I suppose same way in the RAF, that was what you had to be like. You couldn't not be like that. I mean, there was that story of that poor lad that they absolutely...
Sure. You would go under.
Yes. Yeah, and you had to go to the RAF because what were you going to do? Work in a pit?
And I was determined not to do it.
What other options did you have?
Yeah.
So your life path seemed pretty much set.
It did. And it was set because I signed on for 12 years which did not even start until I was 18-year-old. And so I'd already done 2 years by then. And I was okay with it. I liked it when I worked in Ireland, when we did useful things like rescuing people from the sea, or even chucking Coke bottles at Russian submarines.
Crap, I've been having my finger on it. Sorry, carry
But
on.
when I was transferred to Bomber Command, do I really want to bomb anywhere?
Mm.
And not only that, the bomber was called a TSR-2, was scrapped. And so I was a square peg in a round hole, or the other way around. I never know which it is. I didn't fit. I did not fit. And I was sent to this camp, concentration camp, where, because I did not fit into any category, they tried to turn me into a soldier and give me a rifle and white webbing and bayonets. And one day the warrant officer said to me, "You will never make a soldier." And I says, "I don't want to be a fucking soldier. I'm an airman." And he didn't have an answer for that. That's when I became disillusioned. Another answer he gave me was, "You're not paid to think. You're paid to obey." No, not me. That's when I decided to get out. And I made use of them very, very expensive skills that they gave me over 3 years of intensive training onto the, at the time, state-of-the-art electronics. And I made use of that. And I don't regret any of that. I never regret joining, because that got me out of a life of drudgery and back-breaking work down a pit. That freed me. And I was determined to try everything, everywhere. And I did. At least nearly everywhere. From the North Pole to Cape Town, north and south. From Rawalpindi in the east to Victoria Island on the Pacific Ocean, and most points in between.
It's kick ass. That's kick ass.
Yeah.
Is it time for sausages and eggs?
Yeah. Yeah.